This is easily one of the most overlooked things on guitar and important things on guitar at the same time. Everybody's always worried about, I want to play faster, I want to play solos, I want to do all these things. But one thing that can make you sound a lot better, a lot quicker, is if you just start working on your dynamics and your touch. And this is going to improve your feel and your overall sound that you're putting out when you're playing the instrument. Now, I have an acoustic guitar here. This applies to electric guitars too, and it applies to soloing, but in this lesson, we're really going to talk about just rhythm playing. So when you take a chord progression and you strum it, there's a lot of things that you can do to enhance that sound of that chord progression, and it depends what the lyrics are, what part of the song you're in, and everything else. But the one thing you do not want to do if you take just an A minor chord is just say you have a chord progression that's just A minor, C to F to A minor. So there was no dynamic range there. I was just strumming hard and fast the whole time. And if you play a 3-minute song and you strum like that the entire time, you're gonna lose the interest of people. What you want to do with that is you can figure out different ways to pick it, but you can really just control your volume with your right hand. So you could strum the first down strum hard and then quiet it down, something like that. You can also do a different thing, like you can pick different notes of it. You could change the way your strumming pattern feels, and that's going to change the feel of this whole thing. So that gives you a totally different dynamic range because you're just hitting the root note as your first note and then you're strumming. So you really need to control your range. So when you're playing like a soft singing part or you're just going through a verse, you may not want to be playing super loud because then once you get to that chorus, you have nowhere else to go. So let's say you were going to go to the chorus and you wanted it to kind of build up into a chorus, and this is the way it could go. So we're going to go one time through that chord progression, and then we're going to go through that next time through that chord progression, and it's going to give it a feel of a little build up, and then we're going to go into the chorus. And I hope that's coming through, that it's kind of like you can use that last measure before the chorus to really build up into it, and then you can start playing your chorus louder. And another thing that you really need to work on with dynamics is just palm muting. So if you don't know what palm muting is, it's just putting your fatty part of your hand on the bridge right here, and you start covering up these strings. And as you cover them up with your palm, the deader they're going to get. So this is not palm muting, into palm muting. Farther up the guitar I go, the more they just turn into ghost notes, they're just dead, right? So you can use all of that while you're doing something like this. So you could palm mute this. And that gives you a totally different sound, totally different feel than just going like this. So it's really up to you, and it's up to the song that you're playing. So when you're if you're going through a jam section of the song, you got another guitar player that's soloing, you're not going to want to be strumming really loud the whole time because you could be covering that other person up. You're going to want to be playing softer, quieter, give him his space. You know, if the drummer starts putting in fills and everything starts kind of building, you can start strumming louder. But if you're strumming loud the whole time, you have nowhere to go. So you really want to work on these things, and it's going to help with your singing because it's going to, you know, give you that different feel of the song by going up and down. And it's really, palm muting's huge. Just the weight of your hand that you're strumming with. I mean, you can loosen up your grip on the pick, right? And it can make like a thick pick into a light pick if you loosen up your grip on it. And that's going to change things and help you out here. And there's just a ton of different things that you can do. You can attack certain strings instead of all the strings. And that's one of the number one things about guitar is you don't need to strum all the strings all the time. Just because a chord chart says that there's 5 strings or 6 strings in a chord doesn't mean you need to strum all 6 of those strings, because a chord is really just 3 notes. And that doesn't even mean you need to strum 3 notes, right? But in this instance, you could do something like, and you can just attack the low strings. That's just attacking the low strings. If you wanted to get some high strings in there, you start off with the low strings and then you just go after the high strings to kind of give it a little ring out feel. And there's a ton of chord embellishments you can do, like and that's just a little hammer-on that you can put in all those chords. And those are just more things to enhance the sound, right? And that's what you were going for here. I see this with a lot of beginners and intermediate players, is that they're so worried about learning songs and getting better at guitar, but they forget about phrasing and dynamics and how important that is to your overall sound and what you're putting out on the instrument. And you can really enhance a song by just these little tiny things. When you're, you know, muting strings with your left hand, when you're palm muting, and things like that. It's just going to enhance your overall sound and make you more pleasing to listen to than if you're strumming hard the whole time. And this instrument's hard, so I get it. I've been there. I'm not by any means perfect with this stuff. I work on dynamics all the time. I slip up and I'm strumming too hard when I get excited and I'm having fun. So it's something that you're always going to be able to work on, and it's just something you should be conscious of, that you should really hone in your right hand and get some control over which strings you're hitting, how loud you're hitting all the strings, and it's really going to help you sound better and play better with a band and sound better by yourself. On this channel, we like to talk guitar, and we're trying to get better at guitar, so if that's something you're into, then please like and subscribe.